20 black celebrities who married ugly wives. They were icons' voices that healed hearts, athletes who carried history, comedians who made the world laugh. Yet behind the applause stood lives filled with love, conflict, sacrifice, and painful choices the public never truly saw. Fame gave them wealth and recognition, but it also magnified every private mistake. Tonight, we are not just telling celebrity gossip. We are uncovering human stories about trust, pressure, loyalty, and consequence. Before we begin, subscribe to Black Excellence Legends and tell us in the comments, do you think fame destroys relationships, or does it simply reveal who people already are? Stay with us because some of these stories may challenge what you thought you knew about greatness and about love itself. Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke was more than a popular singer. He was a pioneer who helped transform gospel-influenced music into mainstream soul. Born in Mississippi and raised in Chicago, he first gained attention performing with the Soul Stirrers before launching a solo career in the late 1950s. His breakthrough single, You Send Me, reached #1 on the Billboard charts in 1957, and in the years that followed, he released hits such as Chain Gang Cupid and Twistin' the Night Away. By the early 1960s, Cooke had become one of the first black artists to exercise business control over his recordings, co-founding his own publishing company and record label. Financially and culturally, he was building a legacy few performers of his era achieved. Behind the public success, however, his private life was complicated. He married Barbara Campbell in 1958, a relationship that began before his rise to international fame. While he spent long periods touring the distance, placed strain on the household. Accounts from friends and associates suggest both partners struggled with trust, and the pressures of celebrity intensified misunderstandings. After Cooke's sudden death in December 1964, at age 33, tensions deepened. Legal disputes over royalties and business assets followed, leaving his family divided and his estate entangled in years of disagreement. The tragedy overshadowed the hopeful message of "A Change Is Gonna Come," recorded shortly before his death. That song later became an anthem of the civil rights movement, demonstrating how his artistic voice extended far beyond entertainment. Cooke had insisted on creative independence at a time when many performers lacked ownership of their work, and his business decisions influenced future artists seeking control over their careers. His story reveals a powerful lesson: talent alone does not protect anyone from personal hardship. Fame can magnify ordinary human struggles, trust, communication, and responsibility. Sam Cooke's legacy ultimately rests not in the controversy surrounding his personal life, but in the dignity of his music. His recordings continue to inspire listeners because they combine optimism with honesty, reminding us that lasting influence comes from both artistic courage and compassion toward others. Ray Charles. Ray Charles stands among the most influential musicians of the 20th century, widely credited with shaping modern soul music. Losing his sight in childhood did not stop his ambition. Instead, it strengthened his determination to master piano composition and vocal performance. In the 1950s, he blended gospel emotion with blues structure, producing songs like I Got a Woman and later What Did I Say, recordings that challenged musical boundaries and attracted diverse audiences. His 1960 interpretation of Georgia on My Mind reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and eventually became the official state song of Georgia. Over his career, he earned numerous awards and sold millions of records worldwide. At home, however, life was far less harmonious. In 1955, he married Della Beatrice Howard Robinson, and together they raised children while he toured extensively. His schedule kept him away for long stretches, and the distance created emotional strain. Charles also battled heroin addiction during the 1960s, a struggle that affected both his finances and relationships. Friends described the pressure of fame and business responsibilities as overwhelming, and tensions gradually built within the marriage. After more than 2 decades together, the couple divorced in 1977. The separation included financial settlements and custody arrangements that forced him to reorganize his personal and professional life. Despite these difficulties, Charles continued working, eventually overcoming addiction and rebuilding his career. He explored country, jazz, and pop standards, proving his versatility. Rather than publicly criticizing his former spouse, he remained restrained in interviews, choosing to focus on music instead of conflict. Many observers noted that his later performances carried deeper emotional weight, suggesting life experiences had intensified his expression. His journey offers an important human lesson. Great achievement does not eliminate vulnerability, it simply coexists with it. Ray Charles demonstrated resilience by confronting personal mistakes and continuing forward. His music, filled with feeling and sincerity, reminds listeners that growth often comes from adversity. Beyond awards or chart success, his enduring impact lies in showing that determination and humility can turn hardship into creativity. O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson once represented the image of American success. A record-breaking NFL running back, he became the first player in league history to rush for over 2,000 yards in a single season. 1973, earning MVP honors and later induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. After retiring from football, he transitioned smoothly into entertainment and broadcasting, appearing in commercials, sports commentary, and comedy films, such as the Naked Gun series. For a time, his public persona was built on charisma, humor, and approachability. His personal life, however, became the center of national attention. Simpson met Nicole Brown in the late 1970s, and they married in 1985. Their relationship was turbulent, marked by repeated separations and police calls connected to domestic disputes. The marriage ended in divorce in 1992, but tensions reportedly continued afterward. In June 1994, Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman were killed outside her Los Angeles home. Simpson was charged with the murders, leading to a highly publicized trial that lasted nearly a year and became a defining media event of the decade. In 1995, he was acquitted in criminal court. 2 years later, a civil court found him liable for wrongful death and ordered him to pay $33.5 million in damages to the victims' families. Regardless of legal outcomes, the case permanently altered public perception. His career in broadcasting and acting effectively ended, and his reputation never recovered. Later legal issues, including an armed robbery conviction in 2008, reinforced the sense of a dramatic fall from fame. Simpson's story is often discussed not simply as a legal matter, but as a lesson about how celebrity can magnify personal conflict. Public admiration cannot shield anyone from consequences, and success does not guarantee stability. His life illustrates how character ultimately shapes legacy. Athletic records remain part of history, yet the broader narrative reminds audiences that responsibility and self-control matter more than public image. Fame may elevate a person, but personal choices determine how they are remembered. Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones built one of the most extraordinary careers in modern music, spanning composition, production, film scoring, and mentorship. Beginning as a jazz trumpeter, he quickly developed skills as an arranger and producer, working with major artists across multiple genres. His most widely known achievement came through collaboration with Michael Jackson, producing albums such as Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. Thriller alone sold tens of millions of copies worldwide and remains one of the best-selling albums ever recorded, establishing Jones as a central figure in global popular music. Beyond recording studios, Jones composed film and television scores and helped create large-scale cultural projects. He produced the Color Purple film adaptation and organized the 1985 charity single We Are the World, which raised millions for humanitarian relief. Over decades, he accumulated numerous Grammy Awards and industry honors, reflecting both creative excellence and leadership. His personal life also attracted public interest. In 1974, he married actress Peggy Lipton. Their marriage lasted more than 15 years, and they raised 2 daughters together. Like many high-profile relationships, it faced strain from demanding schedules, travel, and professional commitments. Eventually, they separated and divorced in 1990. The split included financial arrangements and emotional challenges, yet both maintained respect, publicly focusing on family rather than conflict. Jones continued working after the divorce, mentoring younger musicians and expanding into media production. His later projects demonstrated adaptability, showing he could remain relevant even as musical styles evolved. More importantly, he emphasized education and opportunity, frequently encouraging young artists to understand both creativity and business. His story offers a broader reflection about legacy. True influence often lies not only in personal achievement, but in helping others succeed. Quincy Jones invested in developing talent and sharing knowledge, shaping generations beyond his own career. His life suggests that success becomes meaningful when it uplifts others. Through collaboration, discipline, and generosity, he demonstrated that leadership in the arts is measured not only by awards, but by the doors open for those who follow. Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman became one of television's most recognizable child actors during the late 1970s and early 1980s. Starring as Arnold Jackson on Different Strokes, he delivered sharp comedic timing and a memorable catchphrase that turned him into a household name while he was still a young boy. At the peak of the show's popularity, he was reportedly among the highest-paid child performers on American television. However, his success came with serious challenges. Coleman suffered from a congenital kidney disorder that stunted his growth and required lifelong medical treatment, placing both physical and financial pressure on him from an early age. Despite earning millions as a child star, he later discovered that most of his money had been mismanaged by adults responsible for overseeing his finances. Legal battles followed, and although he won a court judgment, the resources he recovered were far smaller than what his career had originally generated. As he transitioned into adulthood, acting roles became less frequent, and he took various jobs outside entertainment while continuing to make occasional television appearances. In 2007, he married Shannon Price after meeting her on a film set. The relationship quickly became unstable with public disputes and a separation not long after the wedding. They continued to live together at times, and disagreements were often visible to neighbors and media. Coleman later sought legal protection orders during their conflicts. In 2010, he suffered a severe head injury after a fall at home and died at age 42 from complications of a brain hemorrhage. His life reflects a broader lesson about fame and vulnerability. Early success does not always guarantee long-term security, especially for young performers who depend on others to manage their careers and finances. Coleman's story encourages compassion behind the laughter audiences enjoyed was a person navigating health struggles and adult responsibilities far too early. Remembering him only as a punchline overlooks his perseverance. His experience reminds viewers that protecting and supporting young talent matters as much as celebrating it. James Brown. James Brown earned the title the hardest working man in show business through relentless touring, electrifying performances, and a style that helped define funk music. Emerging from humble beginnings in the American South, he rose to national prominence in the late 1950s with songs like Please, 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 later followed by hits such as Papa's Got a Brand New Bag and I Got You, I Feel Good. His rhythmic emphasis on the downbeat reshaped popular music, influencing soul, funk, and eventually hip-hop. Beyond entertainment, he also became a cultural figure, performing during moments of national tension and encouraging community unity. Away from the stage, his personal life was far more complicated. In 1984, he married Adrienne Rodriguez. Their relationship became turbulent, marked by frequent arguments and legal disputes. Both partners publicly accused each other of misconduct, and the marriage was often described as unstable. At the same time, Brown faced legal and financial challenges, including tax issues and criminal charges unrelated to his music career. The combination of personal conflict and professional pressure strained his well-being and reputation. Rodriguez died in 1996 following medical complications after cosmetic surgery. The loss deeply affected Brown, who afterwards struggled with declining health and continued legal troubles. Although he continued performing, the later years of his life were less consistent than his earlier triumphs. He died in 2006 at age 73, leaving behind a musical legacy that remained enormous despite personal hardship. James Brown's life demonstrates how extraordinary talent can coexist with human imperfection. His innovations shaped entire genres and inspired generations of performers, yet his private struggles revealed the difficulty of balancing fame and stability. The lesson is not merely about celebrity, but about accountability and growth. Great achievement does not erase personal responsibility, and personal mistakes do not erase artistic contribution. Remembering both sides allows a fuller understanding of his impact, a reminder that people are complex and their stories often include both brilliance and struggle. Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye remains one of the most emotionally expressive voices in popular music. Rising through Motown Records in the early 1960s, he first achieved success with romantic duets and smooth love songs, but his artistry deepened as he matured. By 1971, he released What's Going On, an album that addressed war, poverty, and social justice, expanding the possibilities of soul music beyond entertainment. The record became critically acclaimed and commercially successful, and songs like Mercy Mercy Me and Inner City Blues revealed a performer unafraid to explore real-world issues. His later album, Let's Get It On, further showcased his ability to combine vulnerability and sensuality in a way few singers matched. His personal life, however, was complicated. In 1963, he married Anna Gordy, sister of Motown founder Berry Gordy. The relationship was marked by both professional connection and emotional strain. As his career advanced, financial pressures, creative disagreements, and mental health struggles intensified. Their divorce in the late 1970s included a settlement arrangement tied to album royalties, and Guy responded artistically by recording "Here My Dear," a deeply personal project reflecting the end of their relationship. Though initially misunderstood, the album later gained recognition for its honesty and emotional depth. In the years following the separation, Gay faced tax debts, substance abuse issues, and declining confidence. He eventually relocated to Europe, where he recorded "Sexual Healing" in 1982, a song that restored his popularity and earned major awards. Yet stability remained fragile. In April 1984, shortly before his 45th birthday, he died at age 44 during a family conflict at home, ending a life of remarkable creativity and personal struggle. Gay's story shows that artistic sensitivity can be both a gift and a burden. His music conveyed compassion and introspection, encouraging listeners to reflect on society and themselves. The lesson in his legacy is human emotional honesty connects people across generations. Despite hardship, his recordings continue to inspire because they reveal that even in pain, creativity can express hope and understanding. Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was more than a heavyweight boxing champion. He became a global symbol of courage, conviction, and identity. Born Cassius Clay in Louisville, Kentucky, he won an Olympic gold medal in 1960 and soon captured the world heavyweight title in 1964. His speed, footwork, and quick wit distinguished him from traditional fighters. Outside the ring, his confidence and poetic statements made him a media figure, while his later conversion to Islam and adoption of the name Muhammad Ali reflected his commitment to personal belief. Ali's career reached beyond sports when he refused military induction during the Vietnam War in 1967, citing religious principles in opposition to the conflict. The decision led to suspension from boxing and legal battles that lasted several years. During this period, he lost his championship and much of his income, yet he maintained his stance. When his conviction was overturned in 1971, he returned to the ring and fought historic matches, including the Fight of the Century and the Rumble in the Jungle, reclaiming the heavyweight title and solidifying his legend. His personal life included multiple marriages. His first marriage to Sanjay Roy in 1964 ended quickly due to differences in lifestyle and expectations, and particularly regarding religious practices and public image. Though brief, the experience occurred during a turbulent moment in his life when public criticism and legal uncertainty weighed heavily on him. Over time, he remarried and built a large family, later becoming known for humanitarian work and global goodwill missions. In later years, Ali was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, likely related to his long boxing career. Even with declining health, he continued appearing at charitable events and inspired audiences worldwide, including lighting the Olympic torch in 1996. He died in 2016 at age 74. Ali's life teaches that greatness extends beyond victory. He demonstrated that principles can matter more than comfort and that dignity can outlast applause. His legacy reminds people that courage is not only physical strength, but the willingness to stand by beliefs even under immense pressure. Smokey Robinson. Smokey Robinson stands as one of the most influential architects of the Motown sound. Born in Detroit, he founded the Miracles in the late 1950s and soon became a central figure in Berry Gordy's growing record company. His songwriting talent helped shape not only his own group's success, but the entire label's identity. Classics such as Shop Around, You've Really Got a Hold on Me, The Tracks of My Tears, and later solo hits like Cruisin' demonstrated a unique lyrical style, romantic yet thoughtful, simple yet emotionally precise. Robinson didn't just sing love songs, he wrote narratives about vulnerability, reconciliation, and human connection. As a producer and executive at Motown, he also guided younger artists, contributing to the careers of many performers who later became icons. Behind his professional success, his first marriage to fellow Miracles member Claudette Rogers carried its own pressures. They married in 1959 during the rise of Motown, when constant touring schedules and recording sessions demanded long separations. The strain of fame, combined with personal misunderstandings and emotional distance, gradually eroded the stability they once projected publicly. Their divorce in 1986 ended a relationship that had lasted nearly 3 decades. Though painful, Robinson handled the situation privately, rarely criticizing his former spouse in public interviews. Instead, he immersed himself in music, and his later recordings reflected a more reflective tone, focusing on forgiveness and maturity rather than youthful romance. Professionally, he remained productive long after the peak Motown era. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and continued recording and performing into his later years, maintaining a strong touring presence well into his 70s and 80s. His contributions helped define soul and R&B, songwriting structure, influencing generations of singers and writers who adopted his storytelling approach. Robinson's life shows how creative sensitivity can coexist with resilience. Even when personal relationships faltered, he transformed experience into art rather than bitterness. The human lesson in his journey is simple but powerful. Emotional honesty expressed constructively can heal both the artist and the listener. His music endures because it recognizes that love is not just celebration, it is patience, understanding, and growth. Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie's rise to fame began with the Pat and the Commodores, a funk and soul band formed at Tuskegee University in the late 1960s. Initially a saxophonist and vocalist, he soon became the group's primary songwriter. Hits such as Easy 3 Times a Lady and Sail On showcased his gift for melody and storytelling, helping the band sell millions of records worldwide. By the early 1980s, his songwriting ability attracted wider attention, including collaborations like Endless Love with Diana Ross. Encouraged to pursue a solo career, he released his self-titled debut album in 1982, followed by Can't Slow Down 1983, which sold over 10 million copies in the United States alone and earned multiple Grammy Awards. Songs like Hello All Night Long and Stalk on You turned him into one of the defining pop voices of the decade. While the public saw success, his personal life became complicated. Richie married his college sweetheart Brenda Harvey in 1975, and they later adopted Nicole Richie. During the height of his solo fame in the late 1980s, his demanding touring schedule and changing lifestyle strained the relationship. Their eventual separation and divorce in the early 1990s became widely reported, illustrating the difficulty of balancing global celebrity with private stability. Despite the controversy, Richie rarely spoke negatively about the situation, instead focusing on rebuilding both family relationships and his career. After a quieter period in the 1990s, he successfully reintroduced himself to new audiences through international tours and later television appearances as a music competition judge. His catalog has sold more than 100 million records worldwide, and his songwriting has earned an Academy Award and numerous honors. Decades after his debut, he continues performing globally, attracting both longtime fans and younger listeners. Richie's journey highlights a universal truth: achievement does not eliminate personal challenges. Yet he demonstrated that reconciliation, growth, and perseverance matter more than perfection. His life suggests that success is measured not only by awards or sales, but by the ability to learn from mistakes and remain kind despite public scrutiny. Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron is remembered as one of baseball's most disciplined and consistent players, a man whose quiet determination reshaped sports history. Born in Mobile, Alabama, he began his professional career in the Negro Leagues before joining Major League Baseball with the Milwaukee Braves in 1954. Over 23 seasons, Aaron built a reputation for reliability rather than showmanship. He was not the loudest star, but he was remarkably steady, finishing his career with 755 home runs, a record that stood for more than 3 decades. Even more impressive was his overall production: 3,771 hits and 2,297 runs batted in, both among the highest totals ever recorded. His achievement of surpassing Babe Ruth's home run record in 1974 carried enormous cultural significance during a tense period in American society. The accomplishment, however, came with heavy personal pressure. As he approached the record, Aaron received thousands of threatening letters rooted in racism, forcing him to live under constant security protection. Despite the fear surrounding him, he continued to play with composure and professionalism. Teammates often described him as calm and humble a player, more focused on preparation than attention. After retiring, he worked as an executive with the Atlanta Braves and devoted much of his time to philanthropy and youth development programs, helping young athletes gain access to education and opportunity. His personal life included a long marriage that eventually ended, adding emotional strain during an already demanding career period. Yet Aaron rarely discussed private difficulties publicly. Instead, he maintained dignity and focused on community leadership. Later in life, he became an advocate for civil rights and education, supporting scholarships and social initiatives. Aaron passed away in 2021 at age 86, but his legacy extends far beyond statistics. He demonstrated that resilience can be quiet rather than dramatic. The deeper lesson from his life is that perseverance under pressure can influence society. By responding to hostility with grace, he showed that character matters as much as achievement. His record-breaking swing was historic, yet his lasting contribution was proving that patience, integrity, and courage can inspire generations. Miles Davis. Miles Davis stands among the most innovative musicians in modern music history. Born in 1926 in Illinois, he entered the jazz world as a young trumpeter in the 1940s, performing alongside Charlie Parker during the bebop era. Rather than repeating established formulas, Davis constantly reinvented his style. In 1959, he released Kinda Blue, widely considered one of the greatest jazz albums ever recorded, introducing modal jazz and influencing countless artists. Later projects like Bitches Brew in 1970 blended jazz with rock and electronic elements, effectively creating jazz fusion. His willingness to evolve kept his career relevant across multiple decades and musical movements. Despite artistic success, his personal life reflected turbulence. He married actress Cicely Tyson in 1981 after a long friendship, and she played an important role in encouraging him toward healthier habits during a difficult period marked by addiction and health struggles. However, emotional distance, lifestyle differences, and professional pressures strained the relationship, and they divorced in the late 1980s. The separation occurred while Davis was coping with medical problems, including respiratory illness, and the physical toll of years of performance. Though he rarely spoke publicly about private pain, his later recordings carried a more introspective mood. Davis's influence extended beyond music. He challenged racial barriers within the entertainment industry, insisting on artistic control and refusing to conform to expectations placed on Black performers of his era. Younger musicians viewed him as both a mentor and a demanding leader who pushed bands toward innovation. Over his career, he earned multiple Grammy Awards and critical recognition while continuing to tour internationally. He died in 1991 at age 65, but his work continues to shape jazz education and modern production techniques. His story illustrates that creativity requires courage, the willingness to risk criticism to discover something new. The humane message in his life is clearer growth often comes from reinvention. Davis showed that an artist does not need to remain comfortable to remain meaningful. Sometimes progress demands change, and change, though difficult, can lead to lasting influence. Al Green. Al Green became one of the defining voices of 1970s soul music, known for a smooth falsetto that blended tenderness with spiritual intensity. Born in Arkansas and raised in a religious household, he first sang gospel as a child before moving into secular music. His collaboration with producer Willie Mitchell at High Records in Memphis created a distinctive sound built on warm horns, subtle rhythm, and emotional delivery. Between 1971 and 1975, he released a series of hit records including Tired of Being Alone, Love and Happiness, and Let's Stay Together, the latter reaching #1 on the Billboard charts. During that peak period, he became one of the most commercially successful soul artists, selling millions of records worldwide. Behind the success, his personal life was complicated. His marriage to Shirley Kiles in the late 1970s coincided with a turning point in his career. Green began shifting his focus toward faith and ministry, eventually becoming an ordained pastor in Memphis. The difference between his increasingly spiritual direction and the expectations surrounding his celebrity lifestyle created tension. Legal disputes and emotional conflict eventually led to divorce in the early 1980s. The experience affected both his finances and reputation, yet it also reinforced his decision to dedicate more energy to gospel music and church leadership. Professionally, Green transitioned from mainstream R&B to gospel recordings, winning several Grammy Awards in gospel categories and continuing to preach regularly. Decades later, he returned to secular music, occasionally recording new material and performing on major stages, showing his voice had retained its emotional strength. He also received Lifetime Achievement honors and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, confirming his influence on artists across genres. Green's life reflects a search for balance between fame and inner peace. His career shows that reinvention is possible without abandoning identity. The broader human lesson is that success alone cannot satisfy personal fulfillment. Meaning often comes from purpose and reflection. Through music and ministry, he demonstrated that growth can emerge from hardship and that reconciliation with oneself may be the most enduring achievement. Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy rose to prominence in the early 1980s as one of the youngest breakout stars in entertainment history. After joining Saturday Night Live at age 19, his sharp timing and energetic characters revitalized the show and quickly made him a household name. He transitioned to film with major box office successes, including 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop, and Coming to America. By the mid-1980s, he was one of Hollywood's highest-paid actors, combining stand-up comedy acting and later voice work in animated features such as Shrek. His films collectively grossed billions worldwide, and his influence reshaped modern comedy performance. Murphy's personal life gained attention alongside his professional success. In 1993, he married model Nicole Mitchell, and together they raised a large family. For years, they appeared as a stable couple, but the demands of filming schedules and constant travel placed strain on the relationship. By the mid-2000s, they separated and later finalized their divorce. The settlement reportedly involved significant financial arrangements widely covered in the media, though Murphy rarely discussed private details publicly. Instead, he focused on co-parenting and maintaining family relationships. Professionally, Murphy experienced both highs and lows. After a period of declining box office performance in the late 1990s and early 2000s, he re-established credibility with dramatic roles, notably Dreamgirls, 2006, earning major award nominations. Later projects and a return to stand-up appearances reminded audiences of his versatility. Beyond entertainment, he has supported charitable organizations and continued mentoring younger comedians who cite him as an inspiration. Murphy's story illustrates how fame evolves over time. Early success brought enormous attention, but longevity required adaptability and maturity. The human message in his journey is that identity is not fixed. Growth comes through learning from mistakes and continuing forward. His career demonstrates that resilience and humor can coexist, and that even public figures must rebuild, adjust, and prioritize family and responsibility beyond the spotlight. Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman became one of the most recognizable figures in basketball history, not only for his defensive brilliance, but also for his unconventional personality. Born in Trenton, New Jersey, he entered the NBA in 1986 with the Detroit Pistons. Initially overlooked as a scorer, he built his reputation on rebounding hustle and relentless defense. Rodman led the league in rebounds 7 consecutive seasons and won 5 NBA championships, 2 with the Detroit Pistons and 3 with the Chicago Bulls, alongside Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. His work ethic on the court was extraordinary. He studied angles of missed shots and anticipated ball movement, turning positioning into an art form. Off the court, however, his life often contrasted sharply with his disciplined playing style. His high-profile marriage to actress Carmen Electra in 1998 attracted intense media coverage. The relationship was brief and turbulent, marked by public arguments and legal incidents, and it ended within a year. At the same time, Rodman struggled with alcohol issues and the psychological pressure of sudden celebrity status. His income also fluctuated as endorsements faded after retirement, making financial management more difficult. Despite these challenges, he later worked toward stability, writing autobiographies, participating in charity events, and engaging in international goodwill trips. Rodman's influence on sports culture remains significant. He helped redefine the importance of defensive specialists in basketball and demonstrated that a player could dominate a game without scoring many points. Younger athletes often cite his rebounding intelligence and endurance as models of preparation and commitment. He was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2011. His life offers a broader message: talent alone does not guarantee inner peace. Rodman's journey shows how discipline in one area can coexist with vulnerability in another. Over time, he has spoken openly about mental health, reminding audiences that public confidence does not erase private struggles. The lesson behind his story is human resilience includes acknowledging weakness and continuing to grow beyond mistakes. Lou Rawls. Lou Rawls possessed one of the richest baritone voices in American popular music. Born in Chicago, he began singing gospel as a teenager and performed with local groups before serving in the U.S. Army. In the late 1950s, he moved toward rhythm and blues and jazz, gradually building a national audience. His breakthrough came in the 1960s with a style that combined storytelling, spoken word phrasing, and smooth melodic delivery. Songs like Love Is a Hurtin' Thing and later the major hit You'll Never Find Another Love Like Mine established him as a crossover star. Over his career, he recorded more than 60 albums, sold tens of millions of records, and won multiple Grammy Awards. Rawls was also a dedicated television performer and philanthropist. For more than 2 decades, he hosted annual telethons, supporting educational scholarships through the United Negro College Fund, helping raise hundreds of millions of dollars. His ability to communicate warmly with audiences made him a trusted public figure beyond the music industry. Even people unfamiliar with his recordings recognize his distinctive speaking voice in commercials and public service announcements. His personal life included a later marriage that drew public scrutiny, particularly during his final years as he battled lung and brain cancer. Family disagreements regarding finances and estate matters created tension at a difficult time, yet Rawls continued performing as long as his health allowed. He passed away in 2006 at age 72, leaving behind a substantial musical catalog and philanthropic legacy. Rawls's career highlights the importance of dignity and generosity. He demonstrated that success can be measured not only in chart positions, but also in service to others. The humanitarian aspect of his work reminds audiences that influence carries responsibility. His legacy suggests a lasting truth: a powerful voice can entertain millions, but compassion gives that voice meaning beyond applause. Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder is widely regarded as one of the most complete musicians of the modern era. Born in Michigan and blind shortly after birth, he signed with Motown Records at just 11 years old. Early hits like Fingertips introduced him as a prodigy, but his real artistic breakthrough came in the 1970s when he gained creative control over his recordings. During that decade, he released a remarkable sequence of albums, talking book intervisions, and songs in the key of life. These projects combine soul-funk jazz and early synthesizer technology, and they produced classics such as Superstition, Sir Duke, and Isn't She Lovely? By his mid-20s, he had already won multiple Grammy Awards and influenced countless performers. Away from the stage, his personal relationships often unfolded under public attention. His first marriage to singer-songwriter Syreeta Wright ended after a short time, though they remained collaborators and friends. Later relationships and marriages brought family responsibilities, and by adulthood, he became the father of a large extended family. Financial settlements and custody matters occasionally appeared in the press, but Wonder typically avoided discussing private disputes publicly, preferring to keep focus on his art and humanitarian work. Beyond music, he has long been active in social causes. He campaigned for the establishment of Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the United States, participated in charity projects, and supported global initiatives related to disability awareness and children's welfare. His catalog has sold well over 100 million records worldwide, and he has received numerous honors, including Lifetime Achievement Awards. Wonder's life offers a powerful human message: limitations do not define potential. He transformed physical challenges into creative strength and used fame to encourage empathy. His songs consistently emphasize unity and compassion, suggesting that progress begins with understanding. Through decades of change in the music industry, he has remained a symbol of perseverance and hope. Red Fox. Red Fox born John Elroy Sanford became one of the pioneers of modern stand-up comedy and television sitcom performance. Beginning his career in nightclubs during the 1940s and 1950s, he developed a bold, fast-talking style that influenced later comedians. His biggest breakthrough came with the television series Sanford and Son in 1972, where he portrayed the witty and stubborn junk dealer Fred Sanford. The show quickly became one of the highest-rated programs of the decade and introduced a new style of African-American family comedy to mainstream audiences. Despite success, Fox struggled with financial stability. His spending habits and business decisions led to recurring tax problems with the U.S. Internal Revenue Service. At one point in the 1980s, authorities seized property from his home to cover unpaid debts. Personal relationships added further complications. He married multiple times, and several divorces included legal and financial settlements that affected his savings. Although famous on television, he often faced cash flow problems between acting projects, showing how inconsistent entertainment income can be. Fox continued performing stand-up comedy and making guest appearances throughout the 1980s and early 1990s. In 1991, while rehearsing a new television series, he suffered a heart attack on set and died at age 68. Fellow actors noted that his humor remained sharp until his final days. His legacy is important to comedy history. Fox helped open doors for later sitcom performers and stand-up comedians by proving audiences would embrace honest, character-driven humor. The deeper lesson in his story is that fame does not guarantee security. Financial awareness and personal balance matter as much as talent. Yet his enduring impact lies in laughter. He showed that humor can connect people across generations and bring relief even during hardship. Bobby Womack. Bobby Womack was one of soul music's most expressive and complicated artists, a performer whose life often mirrored the raw emotion in his songs. Born in Cleveland, Ohio, he first gained recognition in the early 1960s, performing gospel with his brothers as the Valentinos. Their recording of It's All Over Now was later covered by the Rolling Stones, becoming an international hit and bringing attention to Womack's songwriting talent. Over the following decade, he developed a solo career defined by honesty and grit, releasing memorable tracks such as Across 110th Street and If You Think You're Lonely Now. His music blended soul R&B and street storytelling, and many later artists credited him as a major influence. His personal life, however, often overshadowed his professional achievements. Shortly after the death of his mentor Sam Cooke in 1964, Womack married Cooke's widow, Barbara Campbell. The decision sparked controversy in the music community and strained relationships with Cooke's family. The marriage itself became troubled and ended after several years of conflict. Combined with substance abuse issues and financial instability, the situation slowed his career during the 1970s. Yet he eventually rebuilt his reputation through touring and collaborations, working with a new generation of musicians who admired his authenticity. In later years, Womack recorded again a strong critical response, showing that his songwriting remained powerful even decades after his debut. Despite health challenges, including diabetes and cancer diagnoses, he continued performing whenever possible. He passed away in 2014 at age 70, leaving a catalog respected by soul rock and hip-hop communities alike. Womack's story reflects both human weakness and resilience. He made serious mistakes, yet he also demonstrated the capacity to change and create again. The deeper lesson in his life is that redemption can coexist with imperfection. His music resonates because it does not hide struggle. Instead, it acknowledges pain while still searching for hope and understanding. Forest Whitaker. Forest Whitaker has built a career defined by emotional depth and thoughtful character portrayals. Born in Texas and raised in California, he studied music and acting before gradually moving into film during the 1980s. Early roles in Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Platoon introduced his quiet intensity, but his reputation grew through performances that emphasized psychological realism. His portrayal of Ugandan leader Idi Amin in The Last King of Scotland, 2006, earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor, along with a Golden Globe and BAFTA Award, on establishing him as one of the most respected performers of his generation. Unlike many celebrities, Whitaker maintained a relatively private personal life. He married actress and producer Keisha Nash in 1996, and together they raised a family while he balanced directing, producing, and acting. Over time, the pressures of demanding filming schedules and frequent travel reportedly created distance within the relationship, and the couple eventually divorced after more than 2 decades of marriage. Whitaker rarely discussed the details publicly, choosing instead to focus on his children and professional commitments. Outside acting, Whitaker has devoted significant energy to humanitarian work. He founded a peace and development initiative recognized by UNESCO and has supported mediation programs in regions affected by conflict. He has also been active in education projects aimed at youth empowerment, emphasizing communication and nonviolence. This commitment reflects a personality very different from some of his intense on-screen characters. Whitaker's journey demonstrates that artistic success can coexist with social responsibility. He has used fame not only to build a film career, but also to promote reconciliation and community support. The human lesson behind his story is that influence carries purpose. By combining creativity with compassion, he shows that a public figure's greatest achievement may not be awards, but the positive impact left on other people's lives. Looking back, these stories were never really about appearances, money, or headlines. They were about human choices. Some of these legends lost peace while chasing success, while others found wisdom only after heartbreak. Their journeys remind us that celebrity does not protect anyone from loneliness, betrayal, or regret. At the same time, they show resilience, the ability to keep creating, forgiving, and rebuilding. So here's the real question. Were these relationships doomed by fame or by the decisions made within them? Share your thoughts below and join the discussion on Black excellence legends. Your voice matters. Because sometimes the lesson from famous lives is simple greatness is not measured by spotlight, but by growth, accountability, and compassion.